Welcome back to the channel. I am here with Jason Rose, the Global Director of Training for Rupes and Rupes USA. We are in Denver, Colorado, right outside Denver, I should say, and we spent the past 2 days pretty much going through polishing Bigfoot Academy, right, or the Bigfoot training, the car polishing academy, and I wanted to spend some time and focus in on a question that I get asked a lot, which is, how do you remove slight key scratches, maybe bird droppings, when polishing and compounding won't take it out? And what's the answer for that?
Buy a new car. Thanks for watching. Oh.
We're done.
So yeah, we have this scratch as an example. Maybe the camera can pick it up, but it's a pretty good size scratch, kind of a key scratch. But the procedure we're about to do can be done on an isolated scratch like this, a bird dropping, acid rain etching, a water spot, or some kind of a isolated defect.
Yeah.
So that's what we're going to show. The one thing that we don't know before we even begin is paint thickness. And if you're going to try a procedure like what we're about to do, it's a good idea to kind of know about paint thickness. And you can know that a number of different ways. If it's a refinished car, if it's an old car, or if you have a device like this, which most people don't, but you can beg, borrow, steal, purchase a paint thickness gauge. So we'll actually turn this on, and we're going to put this probe to the paint. And what this is going to do is kind of give us an indication of our paint thickness. And what it says is 23 mils. Now a mils is a 1/1000th of an inch.
Yep.
Now we have a huge thickness. This is in our training center, as you mentioned.
Yep.
So we've repainted this panel several times.
Yeah.
So this thickness is expected on my side, but if you folks out there, if you measure 23 mils of paint, then it's very likely you have a repainted car. Maybe a couple times repainted car.
Multiple times, yes.
But it's always a good idea to kind of get an idea of paint thickness. Okay, that aside, what we're going to do is take a device like the Rupes Nano tool, and this is going to contain our repair into a very small area. If we took our full-size polisher or a full-size sander, this small scratch that we're working on, now we've expanded the repair zone to 5 times its size, which is not a good idea. We want to try and stay as small as possible. So we have this Nano set up with a 3mm orbit. You can see that it's a very, very small offset, very, very small orbit, okay? This is our sanding pad for using the small 1-inch sanding disc. Now this has a 3000 grit option and a 2000 grit option. We're going to go least aggressive method and just see what happens. We're going to peel this off here and kind of center that as best we can, okay? Now this sanding technology is called wet sanding. There are products out there that could be dry sanding. You just have to know what you purchased and what you're using, because you don't want to dry sand wet paper and you don't want to wet sand dry paper. Not going to work very well. So with that, we have our official Rupes high quality water.
Very pricey, very expensive. More than the tool.
Italian.
Yeah, more than the price of the tool, yeah.
All right, so we're going to put just a little bit of water on the surface, a little bit on that disc. We are going to put this sort of in the mid-range of the speed. I have 6 or 5 settings available. I'll put it around 2 or 3 to do this. You see that? Then we're going to put this to paint, and I'll put my hand on the head of the tool here just to have some control. I'm going to move this fast because the work that's going to be done by this tool and that sandpaper, it's going to be very
quick because it's a small isolated.
So a few seconds.
That was literally what, 4 seconds, 5 seconds. This is how it should. Should
this is how the sandpaper should look. It's a little bit irregular because of my angle over here. But what you want to do is see the scratch. You want to follow it into your sanding mark, and if you still see the scratch, then you know you have not fully removed it. So there's no sense going to the polishing step
Until that scratch is
until
gone
you
within
know.
the sanding mark.
Yeah, so we're gonna hit it just one more time. A little bit of water. There we are. We're following our scratch. Still see it. So this is 2 applications of 3000 grit. At this point, you have a decision point. You can go to more aggressive sandpaper or you can hit it again. I think I'm going to decide not to go to more aggressive sandpaper. I'm going to hit it again, but this is my 3rd application and I'm going to stop there. Whatever we get, because we don't want to risk burning through the clear
Correct,
coat.
yeah.
Still there up until here. We've removed it beyond that, but I'm going to stop.
And that was probably about the middle of the scratch. I mean, the
Yeah.
scratch was,
So we've removed it from here to here, so we're good on that. But this is, what that just means is that that scratch is deep enough that you're running the risk of burning through at this point. So you have to live with that defect or get it repainted.
now we have to compound. We have to remove these sanding marks.
So basically what we've done in this first step is we've replaced one defect with another purposeful, intentional defect. But this is a controlled defect, so we're trying to remove the deeper scratch with now a shallow, even sanding mark. So we're going to take our nano again. However, we're going to change the adapter from the sanding pad with the sanding disc, and we're now going to do a 12 millimeter orbit,
Yep.
so a larger orbit.
Yep.
And we're going to put on some kind of a polishing pad and use some liquid to remove the sanding
Yep.
mark. So the one thing we don't know yet is paint hardness. So I'm anticipating I'm going to have to be a little more aggressive to get a sanding mark out. I could try the Rupus foam cutting pad, but from experience, I just know to remove that sanding mark, we're going to step up to the Rupus DA specific wool pad.
Yep.
Okay. So this has a foam backing to give you a little bit of contouring, and then these fibers are very fine wool. They're different pile lengths for cutting and finishing. So then we're going to select our Zephyr compound. We are going to put just a little bit, probably a little bit. Okay, not a lot because an excess amount is just going to fly
all
over.
over the place.
So we'll put this to paint, rub it around a little bit just to get that pad kind of primed and get that
Spread out,
compound on
yep.
all the fibers. Now I'm going to crank up the speed a little bit because I'm using a fiber pad, I'm using a compound. I want this tool to power through the rotations. So I'm going to crank this up to 5. And again, I'm going to hold the tool just for guiding the tool. This is a dual action random orbital movement. So that slow arm speed that we did, that's actually purposeful. So I slowed down to be able to remove the sanding mark. Now, when I wipe this off, what we're going to learn is about paint hardness. So the result is actually varies from car to car and even panel to panel. And that looks fairly good. It looks like a little bit of a halo of a sanding mark.
Yeah, right on the outside here,
Yeah.
you kind of see, but
But
I mean, in terms of where the scratch was,
so successful scratch removal. We're not done yet because there's still a little bit of a halo mark around here. So I can do one of two things. If you see sanding mark, you want to continue doing this step.
this phase, yeah.
Yeah,
Because our goal here is to eliminate the sanding marks.
exactly. So that's what this step is all about. But now I'm going to work around this halo. Got a good wipe off. It looks like our sanding mark is gone. Yes?
Yep.
All right, and at this point, we're evaluating the finish. We know our scratch is gone in
Yes.
that part.
Yep.
Now we want to evaluate, is the finish acceptable in terms of haze mark or lack of clarity? So I think we need another step.
Yep.
So to do this properly, we're going to switch to another foam polishing pad and use our ceramic gloss polish. This will step it down in the abrasiveness
Further
of the product
refinement.
and really refine that and get it to where we can do what we call get this paint to wax ready. So, and by the way, this procedure on that spot, if you're doing a spot repair, you are removing whatever wax and sealant you have, so you'll have to reapply.
Yep.
So let's do this. And again, we'll put a little bit of product like so.
Just a P dot.
And I'm going to slow down my speed on the tool. So I'll bring it down to about half speed of the tool because we're in a polishing step. Let's get that good and primed. And I'm not going to compress the foam more than 50% of the thickness of that foam. See that?
Yep.
And that's it. This step should be very quick. And this is where you look at it and you say, wow, I wish the rest of my car looked that good. Really good.
And I mean, that was fairly,
A scratch about this long.
Yeah.
We deliberately left this so that you can actually see a 50-50 side by side of the repair. And that's basically at this point, if you're happy with the finish, then you can just go right to reapplying your protection.
wax or sealant or whatever you use. And again, this is not necessarily on scratches. You know, if you have an isolated batch of water spots or something, you want to kind of box that out and work that specific area. This is more for honing in on very fine tuned areas. And I wanted to share this with you guys because we talked about this. We talked about everything at this training event, from techniques, compounds, pads, technical makeup of everything, all the way to sanding entire cars, texture matching, texture leveling.
Sure.
And this is a question I get a lot. So I really wanted to share this with you guys. Thank you, Jason, for
My pleasure.
spending the time. If you guys are ever in the area, definitely come out here, check this facility out. I'll link the website and everything on the screen here. If you're interested in this stuff and want to sign up for classes, how often do you guys have classes? I mean, you have ranges from beginner to advanced.
Yes, we do a wide variety of training events and classes at our academy. And the main thing, because the schedule is very fluid and it changes, and we do events that are hosted by our team, but also partnered with distributors. The main thing is just check our website, rupususa.com, look at the academy schedule, and you'll see what we have going on.
Perfect. Definitely worth it, guys. If you are into any sort of car detailing, you want to take your skill set to the next level, definitely check out their classes, check out Rupez's website, check out some of their tools. They make some of the best tools on the market. That's all the tools that I use. I mean, I have almost all of your machines in terms of the electric side. So thank you guys for watching. Thanks again, Jason. We'll see you on the next video.